See this?
Elon Musk. Who? What happened to Elon Musk? Nothing, you know, he's upset that he's losing his EV mandate, and he's very upset about things, but, you know, he could lose a lot more than that. I can tell you right now. Hey, Elon can lose a lot more than that. I don't know. I think we'll have to take a look. We might have to put Doge on Elon. You know what Doge is? Doge is the monster that might have to go back and eat Elon. Wouldn't that be terrible? He gets a lot of subsidies, Peter. But Elon's very upset that the EV mandate is going to be terminated. And you know what? When you look at it, not everybody wants an electric car. I don't want an electric car. I want to have maybe gasoline, maybe electric, maybe a hybrid, maybe someday a hydrogen. If you have a hydrogen car, it has one problem. It blows up, you know? So I'm going to give that one to Peter. I'm going to let Peter test it out. So hydrogen cars, and when they blow up, it's serious. They find you 5 blocks away. It's that good.
Yeah, I don't know how well you could hear the audio, but Trump was joking about deporting Elon. Hey, I paused you. Shut up. A reporter asked, would you consider deporting Elon, which is incredibly funny. And Trump kind of played into it. Elon's still talking down the big, beautiful bill, the Kill America bill, you know, largely, again, because he doesn't like the fact that it contributes so much to the debt that it kind of negates what he perceived as his legacy of cutting government spending. It negates it enormously. There wasn't really much of a legacy to begin with, but even if there was, it would have cut it enormously. Look at this. He's tweeting like a damn leftist. They just pretend to be two parties. It's just one uniparty in reality. Curious. Should we be worried if Elon's deported, even if it'd be really funny? Dude, if Elon gets deported, that is like the high watermark, okay? That means everyone should get the fuck out now, because if they'll deport the wealthiest man in the world, they will deport your sorry ass over whatever the f they want to. Your broke ass is getting sent out in the next flight to South Sudan. So yeah, I would be worried. I don't think it's gonna happen. It's funny that he's saying it could happen, that he would sick Doge on Elon. Ron Paul is still alive? Again, Elon Musk's silence is broken due to the big, beautiful bankruptcy bill. Wait, hold on. I haven't heard his voice in like a long time.
Of course, it was a big weekend for the senators. Yeah. They got to stay up all night and play bridge or something, occasionally vote. But what a nightmare. And, you know, how the House and the Senate controlled by the Republicans, which means that, you know, things should improve. You know, we have, and I think with the president's a Republican, too. So that means we should be cutting back. So when the bill leaves the House, we were complaining a bit about the shenanigans on the House. But since it's gone on over the Senate, it's been increased in spending by another $1 trillion. Yeah. So that's a sign that maybe we're not home yet on this spending.
Yeah, you know, we've been talking a lot about this so-called big beautiful.
Who's this fellow? Why does he look familiar? This very Italian-looking gentleman.
Bill, and what it is a massive bloated omnibus bill that has everything but the kitchen sink in it. We've talked about it for a while. A few brave people on the Hill have stood against it, Thomas Massie being one, Senator Rand Paul being the other. And over the weekend, as you point out, the Senate voted on their version of the bill. And how this works, the House, because it's a money bill, the House votes first. The Senate brings up their version of the bill. And then there's a reconciliation of the two bills for a final passage, which goes to the president, as you know, Dr. Paul. So the Senate took out their version of the bill, and as clockwork, Dr. Paul, as so easily predictable, what they did is all of the carrots that the leadership put in on the Republican House.
I was mostly just interested in listening to Ron Paul because it had been a while. The point here is that Elon is still complaining. Anyone who campaigned on the promise of reducing spending but continues to vote on the biggest debt ceiling increase in history will see their face on this poster in the primary next year. Wow. Threatening. Yeah, he has said that he's going to primary anybody in the House who votes for this bill, which is going to be like everyone. Like every Republican, not every, but like almost every Republican is going to vote in favor of it. So I don't think that's really possible. I don't think Elon has that much money. Is it time to create a new political party in America that actually represents the 80% in the middle? Vox Populi, Vox Dei. DEI? 80% voted for a new party. That's pretty much science right there. Where's the actual post he made? Hitting the debt ceiling is the only thing that'll actually force the government to cut waste and fraud. They're raising it by $5 trillion. All I'm asking is we don't bankrupt America. Where's the one actual post? The one actual, I saw it earlier. Where's the one actual post? Oh, here we go. Removal of funding for enforcement of federal contempt of court orders is the actual crux of this spending bill. This is nominally aimed at removal of illegal immigrants, but obviously also enables many other abuses of power by the president, should this be allowed. So, I've said this before, but I want to reiterate, okay? Trump and the Republicans are trying to frame it as though Elon is upset that the bill is removing his electric vehicle mandates. I don't think that's it at all. I think that Elon is not that self-interested, at least not knowingly so. I really think it's about legacy and about respect. And I don't think that I think that Elon, like a lot of stupid autistic people, is aware of the fact that he's often a laughingstock in the room, and that there's no way to buy his way out of that perception. And I think that he is very sensitive to the feeling that he's being kind of taken for a ride. You understand what I mean? You get me? I wonder how many times he's going to be bullied back into like the graces of the president, you know? I hate relating to Elon, damn it. Well, in this conflict specifically, he is correct. He is human. Yeah. In his own wacky way. Milton Friedman posting. Look at his replies. Celebrating Rand Paul. Retweeting Rand Paul. Do you think if Elon actually started a new party, he could split the Republican vote? He can't form a new party. Forming a new party requires, in this political environment, would require an incomprehensibly large amount of skill, knowledge, and insider information in order to form a party that is viable at like a federal level. And there is absolutely no demand for what Elon is asking for. Both parties are controlled by the wealthy, and the wealthy benefit from the government running itself into the ground. Well, they don't benefit in the long run, you know? It's more that wealthy people like it when the government does this. It's good fiscal policy for them. Well, no, it's good monetary, but it's good monetary and fiscal policy for the ultra wealthy because they love short-term gains and they don't care about you. What Elon is recommending, this like sober, like budget balancing effort, is not actually in the interest of any wealthy people. It would considerably shrink economic growth. It would turn us into Japan. You know, we would be in like a Japan situation. It wouldn't track. Also, yeah, who would vote for it, right? Who would vote for this weird niche intersection of like the people who don't believe in social welfare but also don't really believe in military spending, but also need to raise taxes to the point where they could pay off everything. Like who would? It wouldn't get enough people. Hey, found out about your channel through the Mamdani campaign. You found out about me from the Mamdani campaign or through the Mamdani campaign? What does that mean? You mean like you canvassed and somebody was like, take a look at this idiot? Did Mamdani personally tell you to come subscribe? There's a non-0% chance that he knows who I am. He's very online, Mamdani. What was your view during this election? Did you support voting for Harris or did you have a different view? I supported voting for Harris, but I had to like really clench my teeth over it. Like, obviously Harris is better than Trump, but the Democrats as they are, it's basically like, do I want to board or like use a board to plug a hole in a sinking ship? Like the sink is 100% sinking no matter what. It's like, do you want to delay the process a little bit? And I would rather delay the sinking than allow it to happen faster. But maybe, and I think there's an edge case here, maybe the ship sinking really quickly would scare people into doing something meaningful and transformative about it. Whereas like the ship sinking really slowly would kind of lull people into complacency, because that's what happened with Biden, right? Like Trump won and then Biden won and all the libs were like, oh, that's it. Shoo, shoo. Like all the libs were like, oh yeah, Trump's a laughing stock. And trust me, the attorney general will definitely nuke him for January 6th. And then what happened? Nothing. We had 4 straight years of people saying any day now Trump will get arrested. And then he does get arrested. And what does he get arrested for? Getting pussy. He gets arrested for a few $1 million getting misappropriated through campaign spending to pay off a sex worker. They give him a cunty prison photo They have him sign sign off. You went to jail for getting pussy, and then like that was the big moment. Nothing for January 6th. Nothing for the Mar-a-Lago documents. It's a joke. So like I don't know. I would have preferred we patched the hole in the ship and slowed things down a bit. But now that we're in this position, now that the ship is definitely sinking, no matter what, I feel like we have to. Our goal is to like use the ship sinking to kind of. I don't want to rearrange deck chairs on the Titanic. I want to try to get people to the lifeboats faster. I want to help people. I want to radio for help, you know. But the ship is going down. Sorry, that whole response was literally just because I got glassy-eyed thinking about that person saying, I learned about you from the Mamdani campaign. Like literally, that was all it took. That little flicker of like pretend legitimacy gave me like compelled me to give a full response. What the fuck are we talking about? Oh yeah, Elon Musk. Bitch, you're legit. I don't think I'm legit like that. It does make me wonder what's going to happen this time. Because last time Elon and Trump had a falling out, right? Elon got pressured into playing nice because he doesn't really have any other directions he can go other than MAGA. But now it's the second time. Like, how many times is it going to keep happening, right? You can't keep doing it back and forth over and over. I don't know, man. I'm with Elon on this one. You don't think it's a distraction? Elon being dumb? No, not really. Seems like he does that pretty authentically. I don't think it's a distraction. Also, a distraction from what? The Republicans right now are literally voting on the "we will kill everyone" bill, and nobody cares. Nothing to like. It's insane. What's happening right now cements the decline of this country for an indefinite length of time. It's absolutely psychotic. And it's just happening. It's just happening, and no one cares to stop it. Democrats aren't really doing shit. No one's doing shit. What can I do? If you want to know what you can do, you can check out your local DSA. You can try to sign up with your local Democratic advocacy organization. You can try to become a branch leader. You can try to advocate within that system to try to prioritize more progressive candidates. You can try to get people on board. You got to understand, man, for most of the history of this democracy, being an advocate or an activist was a full-time job. And now because of the internet, everyone gets to role play as one when they're posting on Twitter, and then they go back to their 9 to 5. You being aware of what's happening in this country does not make you an advocate or an activist. It makes you a mentally ill normie. You're just more knowledgeable about the way you're getting You can describe like the shape and size and color of the dick that's in you. Okay? You're not meaningfully different. Even I'm not meaningfully different, not really. My job, at least, is political. I do advocacy work. Definitionally, what I do is advocacy work. But activists used to be people who did like union advocacy work. Their lives were on the line, and they went out there. This was their whole thing. It wasn't like adventurism, and it also wasn't like a little lifestyle flourish. We're not talking champagne socialism. We're not talking about like like a personality trait or anything. They literally, like, day in, day out, this was the shit they did. They treated it like a job. So if you want to talk about what you can do that. You can sign up with the PV program for trying to train people to be local Democratic members. You can meet up with DSA, and you have the free time to do it. And a lot of you could literally do it today. A lot of you are thinking, oh, maybe I will. You could literally look at your local DSA's event schedule. You could look at it right now, and you could go, oh, well, I'll be there tonight. I'll be there tonight. And you won't. And I won't either. And that's the problem. Now, this isn't a moral judgment. Obviously, it's a kind of condemnation, but I really do think this is a consequence of the fact that like everyone is overexposed to everything. You know, it's a sign of the times. Sometimes I really wonder about the internet. You know, chat for those in Austin. There's an orientation meeting happened today at 6 to 7 CST. Yeah, just like that. There you go. You can just pop right in. You never know who you're going to meet. You never know what friends you're going to make. It's a remarkable amount of what your life could end up being can be shaped by a couple of now trivial decisions, you know? All I'm saying. So people ask, like, what can they do? You know you can do more than what you're doing. You just feel paralyzed because you're exposed to all this information, but not enough onboarding. There's a disconnect. It used to be, in order to be highly informed, you had to be highly connected. Now, you can be highly informed without being highly connected. So you end up with all the information, you're like, well, shit, what do I do with it? And then you jerk off and go to sleep. Again, it's not a moral condemnation. I'm just identifying the problem. What if I don't want to do anything and just find you entertaining and I don't ask you What can I do? I mean, like most people are like that, right? I don't think it's inauthentic to say that. I don't think a person is a bad person for not wanting to be an activist, because it's difficult and it's not for everyone. I do wish people would be honest. That's what I mean. Like that's because there are a lot of people who think of themselves as like activists in waiting. At any moment you could spring forth and do good, but like that moment could have been yesterday and it could be today too. You're not choosing to take it. Just be honest with what you are. I know what I am. I hate canvassing. I don't like in-person events that much. I love live streaming, and I do it well. I do it very well. So I stick to what I'm good at, and I keep my praise, my self, adulation. I keep it proportional to that, which is why I often don't call myself an activist. I say I'm an advocate, because I think for me that's more honest. Definitionally, I'm an advocate. That is true. Activist, I could be if I really put myself out there for it. I think I could be, and I think I could be good at it. But I understand that everyone has to make choices about what they're comfortable with, what they want to do, what they would enjoy doing. I think I would enjoy doing a little more, but I know there are people who would enjoy doing a lot more. And it's my hope that those people will find themselves as a consequence of my advocacy. There are people who would flourish under those circumstances, and in my mind, my hope, or my role, I guess, is to coax you into discovering that about yourself. Is Hassan an activist in your view? He's mostly an advocate, but he leans more activist than me for sure, because he actually goes up and attends stuff. Yeah, so I would say that shifts it more. I'd still say that's like a 90-10. Like, I'd say I'm 100-0, 100% advocate, and I'd say he's 90-10. But I'm not saying one's better than the other. You need both, right? Like the advocates, you need like media personalities. You need like the apparatuses to change and convince. And you need people who are going to go out there and, helicopter their dicks.